I'm doing good. How are you doing, Hirsch? I've been a little bit of away from LoR lately, but I'm glad I've been invited back to playing, watching today's tournament. I've been playing another game called Final Fantasy, and I've gone to nationals in LA last year, and I am really excited to just, see LOR again. I've been in love with LOR since the snapshot beta, and I'm really excited to see the games today. Um, our first round today, we are going to be spectating Chicas and Shotox. I really would like to watch this match because I see the one deck I haven't seen in a long time, and that is Akshan Renekton, which is like the whole game plan of playing around Overwhelm and trying to one-shot your opponent. I'm really excited to see where that is currently in today's standard. Formerly, colloquially, it's known as Yep Croc, and and it has been popularized by the well-known streamer of LOR in the days bygone, Aikido. It looks like our game. It looks like our game plan is more to just see if we can fill out the board and use these low-cost spells to hopefully flip Lux or otherwise control the board state, and using hopefully portals from Nora just to make sure that we can continue up with the tempo of this game plan. You know, tell me more about this deck. I've not seen these two paired together, and as a player coming back, I would like to know what the game plan around this deck is. Okay, I really do look forward to seeing this deck in action against the other decks that Shotox is playing. Nyla Jana, I love seeing Nyla Jana. I'm a good old Aikido watch streamer. Watching this go through, even though Janet has hit nerfs, she's still seeing some play just because how well and effective she can be for a lot of the game plan that Nyla is looking for. So I do look forward to seeing this deck. I would say it might be more closer to an aggro to mid-range plan. It has the certainly to go wide, but it's definitely just trying to draw as many cards and get as many cards out as possible. And it might be closer to something what people would say controversially tempo, but that is, you know, up to one's digression. I love seeing Kindred. Kindred is one of my favorite champions in the Shadow Isles colors because I love seeing that she just executes a champion after you kill something, even if it's your own thing. And I love, back then, I used to love playing Kindred Nasus. And so seeing this with Morgana, you know, this is a great control deck, and I really hope that this is also something that we can see. Yeah, we're just looking to play as many 6-cost spells as possible, so Jace can just flip and then constantly copy 6-cost spells. We're just looking to go wide and swing as many spells as possible. Hash cash. So the whole game plan about Akshan Renekton is that we're trying to use our spells that buff up our champions to flip not only Akshan but also Renekton to get the overwhelm. And what we're trying to use is Curse of the Tome on a champion that is blocking Renekton, or in this case we'll try to use something that force Renekton to make something block, and then we'll use Curse of the Tome so that with overwhelm we'll try to do 20 points of damage and overwhelm damage against that unit.
And there we go. It wouldn't be another Aegis stream. First, you know what? I will blame this on not being able to stream since last year. It's been since last year since I've streamed, so bear with me. Sorry for the issues. I'm Hirsch, by the way. Hello, if you don't know who I am by now. You missed all my conversations. But yeah, moving on to the matchup screen now that you guys can hear me. We have Shodox versus Chicas, all decks, all in a line, all at once. What are we thinking for bans, Cash?
If I were in the Chicas spot, I might ban, if we're looking to play mid-range, we might want to see if we ban Morgana. But there is a consideration of banning Yepkrok because we just don't want to get comboed out. But because we have Jan and Nyla, and we might see Shodox might ban, I would say Shodox might ban Morgana here. I'd probably ban just Elise the control matchup, just because we're looking to maybe play mid-range mirror into maybe being, just because we have bigger units and bigger payoffs, that we can take advantage of that.
So I actually know what all the bans are. This is your first time casting with me, I know, so, but I get the power of knowing all the bans before you do. So I will release the bans now. For on the side of Shodox, we have Yep, Croc being taken off the table now.
I'm not surprised by that. Yep, Croc is, a little scary because you can just get one shot pretty quickly, and even then you don't need to flip most of your units because the overwhelm. Jaina Nyla being banned is a little, not surprising because she can be really fast towards the beginning early aggression, and especially for playing control decks that are relying on shooting spells. I think these are great two target bans against each other, and I'm looking forward to seeing the matchup, and hopefully for the first game we might see probably Morgana versus Udyr here, and I might be say it might be more considered towards the Morgana Elise Kindred versus Udyr, but
yeah, I would agree with you.
But I hope that, maybe Chicas can pull this one out and take one over Shodox. Shodox has a well-known history throughout the LoR scene and is a name that is not forgotten.
Yes, I'm actually kind of interested in seeing. Would you consider this a mirror matchup? I think I kind of would.
It might be a little bit of a mirror matchup, but the thing is, Udyr does get big.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the Nora.
Oh, the Nora. Oh. Yeah, no, it might be a little harder for Lux Nora just because oh my god.
Just because
because PNZ has a lot more effective spells than Demacia does.
They have a lot more removal, yeah.
Couldn't be an Aegis stream without me stuttering,
It's all good. I have the same problems too sometimes. So in the first match, we have Shodox playing Elise, Morgana, Kindred versus this Nora Lux deck. I kind of want to see how well this Nora Lux deck is going to fare, honestly. We see Elise going out for a quick swing. There's no real reason to block this, but we still are going to block it regardless.
Ooh.
No, taking the pull back. Honestly, taking 3 this early is not that bad. We want to conserve this Nora as much as possible. But once we swing this Nora now, it is going to get hate spiked off the bat because you want to slow down this portal deck as fast as possible.
Almost certainly. I definitely would be the first thing I would do. Playing out the Badger Bear is a little scary because I don't know if it really is just looking to have you tap out. If I was Shodox here, I'd probably shoot Nora as fast as possible, or we can just develop it because we have our unit, and so we're probably just going to use Hate Spike to kill Nora here. We're not.
Really?
I'm surprised.
Actually, it does. So it does make sense because we are playing around the pie toss. Because we don't want to give up this. We don't want to give it this Elise, and it does get blown out by that whole play right there. Just gets extremely blown out by pie toss. It's not worth the risk, in my opinion.
Yeah, the holding up the 1 mana is definitely a little scary because of pie toss. If we had a 2 health unit, then maybe we would go all in there.
Yeah. Going for the full swing with Kindred right now. Are we gonna try this Badger Bear just goes straight into the Elise without a doubt, but are we looking to Hate Spike just to kill this Nora or kill the Badger Bear?
I don't know if it's really that worth it. I think we're pretty okay with holding up a lot of our spells. In fact, I think we should just be good to just hold most of the things that we have. But if we want to progress to the least level up, maybe we do use it. Not the least level up, the Kindred level up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we just take it. Dropping down to 9 on turn 4. That's actually really scary here.
Yeah, but at least now on the snapback, we do have a way to pull a unit with our Petricite. So this board state can get a little more clean out. In fact, because we tapped under, no, we don't have 2 health units still. Maybe we try to force it out, but I don't know. It might be a little hard just because we don't have it. So we're just going to call out and see if we can get this hate spike onto the Petrosite. Unfortunately, we do have caster vision, and we do see that Chicas does have the pie toss, but because we're forcing out this pie toss pretty early, we can probably potentially draw into another hate spike, and it'll be much harder for Chicas to deal with because we don't have any other fast interaction for these things. Unfortunately, we do not have it, but we do have our 3 mana spell, our Death Grasp. So this Petrosite is going to die, and we're going to probably just do a Ghost Block on the 2/2 onto the Petrosite.
This is so weird. This position is just so awkward. So even if we can't even form up this Broadwing because it's not going to do anything for us either.
Yeah, it's just gonna leave Kindred of 1 HP, and because we do that, we will have to use our other part of Pie Toss to kill this Kindred. But
it's not gonna be it's not gonna be 2 HP or 1 HP on the Kindred because Death Grasp does 5.
Oh, it does 5. Oh, I thought it did 3.
No, it does 5. And we do see on the other side of the bracket here that Keeson 2-0ing Barcode this fast. Wow, that's actually insane.
Keeson is #1 seed, and I'm not surprised by him going 2-0 over someone, but this fast is a little bit more surprising to me.
Yeah. Oh, wait, actually, that doesn't really matter as much to us. Actually, that actually does matter to us a lot. Mage Seeker Jr. being pulled off the portal actually screws us over.
Yeah, no, Mage Seeker Jr. making all our spells cost 3. Am I correct about that?
Yes, it makes all your spells under 3 mana cost 3 mana.
Yeah, unfortunately right now it's not doing much for us, but we might have to force out a kill with either a 6 our Vengeance, or we can see if we can try to kill Mage Seeker Jr. by killing Nora here with Kindred. But it might be hard because we are holding up other spells. Oh, we're going for the buff into the block. Unfortunately, we are going to Vengeance here. So we're probably going to see the mini morph coming out right now so that Nora doesn't get hit by Kindred's mark.
Yeah, you kind of have to. Like this Kindred or this Nora is going to be the one that gets us across the finish line at this point right now. And we do see that coming through, not allowing the Kindred to level up at all.
Poor Kindred.
I think Chicas is actually going to be able to swing this back around. Especially now that we have Portapalooza in hand too.
Well, we can't forget about Morgana. Morgana has been a powerhouse in, just stopping these wide boards, and because it, forces mana out of our opponents, sometimes things can get a little scary if she sticks on board long enough and, regains all the health that we lost to an aggressive board just because she has lifesteal.
This is also very true. Oh man, this halberd is about to get a lot of value right now. I'm gonna get our Undying going now.
Ooh.
Yeah, you just go for weapon removal. Yeah.
Yeah, weapon removal is usually good here, especially if we can get rid of that weapon right there.
Shodok's having a little trouble finding out how he's going to end this game now. But Oh, tasty.
That is a good draw, man. I would say I love seeing single combat here just because of the lifesteal, but also anything we can use our undying creatures just to finish off any little guys that we don't want to see on board.
Now it feels like we're back to kind of square one on the side of Chicas, trying to figure out how we're going to get through this board now.
There's probably, we might see a gentleman's duel here, or we might hold it for combat, but we are just going to go ahead and just kill the weapon right now. Unfortunately, Shodox is going to probably respond with using single combat onto probably Nora or this Tasty right now, just so that we can get advantage of using this weapon. But we also could be using it on the 2-2. Ooh, we're going to target the 4-3 bot. I do understand why we'd make that decision, because that bot can get a little scarier as the game progresses. And also it has 3 health.
Yeah.
We do get the Morgana level up here, so she is going to get a lot more scarier as the game goes on, and I think things are looking really good for Shodox. Well, Chicas is, you know, a little concerning position because Shodox has all the things that he could use, and because we don't have mini morph anymore to take care of this Morgana, once Morgana attacks, we're just going to start taxing our opponent's board and, you know, dealing 2 to all cursed enemies. This is going to be getting really scary here soon.
Yeah, I agree. We even still have enough mana to re-equip this Darkened Halberd too, so we can even cycle this Undying. I don't think we have to right now.
Yeah, we're gonna just attack, and if this Undying doesn't die, we're just gonna go ahead and kill the Undying to just put this weapon onto Morgana. So honestly, I would say, yeah, no, that's exactly what we'd have to block here. Unfortunately, we are going to use this basically buffed single combat on Morgana so we can get this kill onto her. But we are trading out a lot of our units, and because we're on a controlled game plan, this is actually perfectly fine for Shodox, especially if we draw into another Morgana or any other units in the future turns.
Yeah, and we do see on the other side of the bracket also 1-2-0ing Lunaya as well. So the winner of this matchup, if I am not mistaken, goes up against Lunaya, or up against Awesome.
Yeah, you know, well, we're getting close to seeing what our semifinals are going to look like, and I'm hoping after this game 1, you know, I hope that we can get to a game 3 here, honestly, because I like seeing all these decks that we've chosen for this lineup. So we'll see how this goes through.
Which Shurima card is this one? Is this the one that says when you've leveled a champion, heal your Nexus?
Yes, I believe that is the on round start. Is it Visionary or? I've only seen it in one deck particular, and that is Mono Shurima, just for Sundisk. And it's barely even played in that sometimes. Ooh, this 04 Patricite is pretty good. Unfortunately, we are running Shadow Vials, and so, you know, a lot of our stuff are kill spells, but anything that's doing damage is not going to kill that thing.
It's not really to do us much either, because all it does is just buff our Formidables. So it's only going to hit our Petricite Proudwing.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we lost that pretty early into the game.
Mm-hmm. But still, 0-4 Balin is still pretty good. But here comes the Necrotic Arachnoid, making this even harder for Chicas now.
Devoted Council. You level the champion, heal your champions and Nexus too.
Yep, that's what I thought it was. I was right. Oh man. A card that I never seen, I still know what it does. Crazy.
You got that game knowledge.
True.
Ooh, this big board. It might be looking a little rough for Chicas here. And unfortunately, I'm not sure how we can get out of this rough state just because we have such value in our hand and Chicas is running out.
Wait, can we do this though? So we have 5. Oh, we just have to actually just send out our graphs and we're actually safe. So you grass the 4-2 blocking the 1-6. And that puts Balin at 1 HP, where this doesn't mean anything anymore. Or you do that and it's still the same thing. That works too, I guess. It's least committal.
One HP and a dream.
I mean, we're just dead.
Yeah, I mean,
You just grasp something and then you just win.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate thing.
Or just use that for burst lethal. That works too.
That is true. We could just use burst lethal.
I forgot about that. Okay, we get to see the mirror matchup now.
All right. Well, see, that's where you think, but Chicas does have the option to go into Udyr right now.
We're seeing the mirror matchup. I'm actually unironically, I'm kind of excited to see this. I'm very curious at which 6-cost spell deck does better.
I really like Shodox's opening hand here, and this mulligan was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's
going
actually
to Aftershock. Like we have such an insane tempo hand that this is going to probably, if we don't draw any good elusive blockers here or any good 2-mana spells any spells to just kill this Nora will take off with the game.
Oh man, this is such an insane opening.
Yeah, even then we're opening with Nora on too. That's just really good for us.
And there's no way for Chicas to really answer the Nora either. So we get first stack. Oh, is this portal off the top? No, it's not, but we still get Junk Construct to answer the other Junk Construct as well.
Can't go wrong with getting more Junk Constructor just to give us more portals. Flip this Nora as fast as possible.
You know what they say, one person's junk is another person's junk. That's what they say, right? Am I right?
I'll give it to you, Junk all around. Wait.
Oh, we get the 3-1 elusive that's literally just prints itself on Nexus Strike? What?
That's really good for us.
That's broken.
We got an insane card, and now on our attacking turns, we just have a card that we can just play out just to swing.
We're playing a mirror game right now, matching card for card pretty much. Ooh, Gem Crafter.
What's even crazier is that this the 2-mana card that we got in our hand, she's gonna get impact as well from Portal Scholar, just because she is a created card.
Oh, this is true. I did not even think about that. That's actually kind of nuts. Honestly, Chica's is not in a very favorable position right now, and we get our portal off the top and get a Soothsayer.
Oh my god, Soothsayer is insane here because now we can even use our spell next turn just to, like, honestly, I would in advance probably just go ahead and pop this spell shield, but maybe oh my god, this is just insane.
What is going on? So we replace the... Oh my god, I forget what this card is called. Is it Tinker?
I don't even know. I've not seen that card in ever.
Oh, what is this card called? Fix 'em Uppers. That's what it was called.
Oh, we're even getting this card too, the 2/1 that buffs itself every time we play a unit.
Yes, sir.
This is disgusting.
So we do have a Pie Toss to match one of them, and we also have a strike spell as well to match the another unit as well if we wanted to, but it can only go so far.
Do we pick Explorer's Blunder here, or?
Yeah, we take Blunder here just because we need to remove a keyword, and removing elusive and impact is probably what we're going to be looking at. What game state are we in right now? I mean, now that Nora's flipped, we're kind of in a safe spot now for Shodox. We get a lot more value than Chica's, and it just kind of becomes like, I can outvalue you faster than you can outvalue me.
Yeah, even then, like, if we use a strike spell, like, we have all these like spells just to deal with the unit. Our fast speed, like, we have 3 damage in hand that we can just use, or even we can use our 6 mana spell to just make something a 3/3. We're in a very good spot here.
Wait, we didn't play the Explorer's Blunder? Oh wait, no, we didn't even have an action.
We didn't. Shodox was a little smart here and did not give an action to play a focus spell just to pop any keyword, which is something I completely agree with Shodox's play here. We're not even, like, sad to see if we lose this 3/1 to a Pie Toss here. I think we're trying to fight on the stack for this Nora. Unfortunately, I think we'll be fine. I don't know. It might be okay for Chicas here.
Wow, this is...
I think we're gonna use Portapalooza here. Yeah, or sorry, Eclectic Collection.
Yeah, Eclectic Collection. We have to rip it now while we have this huge value.
Yeah, all these shrooms, all these portals being placed, and we're gonna see a flooded hand from Shodox next turn, more than likely. Especially with this Portal Scholar still being here, it's gonna be insane.
I hate Eclectic Collection because it makes me do so much work because I have to actually fill in all the blanks.
We do at least we do at least level up this luck, so we're going to kill off this Portal Scholar here just so that these new units that come in don't have, you know, impact.
Okay, I did it all.
We definitely turned around the board state here, but it's still a little scary for Chicas because all the shrooms have put in their deck, and Chicas is pretty low here.
Just not hitting a hitting anything on Shotox is really rough for us.
I wouldn't even say that's like even like super rough, because we do have 7 portals like, within the top 4 of our deck, or is it
top 3?
Top 3 and top 10. I do think that, you know, we are in a very peculiar good position. We probably just, you know, use Badger Bear to like probably block this Lux here and get her a little lower, and maybe just ping off the portal collector just to take 2 damage here, because we are probably gonna get maybe like 2 to 3 units next turn.
Yeah, we need to take off this this portal scholar. Like, this is if we can stop Chicas from generating as much value as possible right now with this card, it would benefit us. Even though there's not a ton of portals in there, but still.
Yeah, well, this also means that we also get free reign to play Nora this turn, and so whenever if those portals do pop, those units can be really, you know, big units. And if we see, like, I don't know, a Vine Slasher, it's gonna be getting real scary. Is Vine Slasher in standard?
I'm sorry, what?
Vine Slasher is the one that changes everything to like a 7/6.
Oh, you mean Snapvine? Overgrown Snapvine?
Overgrown Snapvine, yeah.
I don't think Overgrown Snapvine is in standard. I'm not sure.
It's not. Okay. Well, you know, a man can dream.
I do like I do like the option that Shotox decided to hold on to this Mystic Shot just to have more burn damage towards the face. I feel like that was a very heads-up play.
Let me get rid of portal here. Oh, bro, if we draw any sort of I guess it's not in this game. It's not in standard.
It's absolutely crazy that we did not. We still haven't pulled the portal yet. We are in the portal waiting room right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just not there. We are going to use this Mystic Shot. I'm assuming because we're trying to play down this 2-drop, though, just to hit the opponent and probably get value off it. But we do have a keyword remover just this turn. Oh my god, it's a 7/5. Yeah, no wonder we were going for that. You have to just now remove those keywords off this unit.
And now this Nora gets to hit the board.
Yeah, this Nora does get to do what she wants to do. And now we're going to swing in with a 7/5 and a 3/4. And the Shotox is going... Sorry, Chicas is going to go down to 7 this turn. And if we hit these portals, these units can be really big units because Nora is leveled up and is on board.
Yeah, this is actually... We're going to hit a lot of portals here. We're going to hit a lot of value. I think we hit all 7 here because I think it is top 3. It's either top 3 or top 4.
I believe Electric Collection puts it at top 10.
So portals are in top 4 always. So that means we're hitting 6 portals next turn. Oh man, what this next turn? This next token's gonna be insane, dude.
Yeah, Chicas, I would be really scared of what Shotox is both holding in hand and what Shotox is going to hit. Honestly, we might just mini morph this Nora just so that she's just off the field.
You have to. Like this next turn for Shotox, if Chicas has been paying attention, it's going to be overwhelming.
Quite literally.
You know what the crazy thing is? Shotox has burned through 2 Noras? No, this is second Nora.
Yeah.
And Chicas has still yet to find one.
Sometimes when you're playing the Normira and not hitting Nora, it's a little bad for you.
Just a wee bit. Oh, and that actually gives us another spell for our assembly bot too. I didn't even think about the curse spells for assembly bot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would full swing here, Chicas. You kind of have to.
I don't think you have any choice if you're gonna continue to wait and let Shodox develop. Shodox is just gonna open these portals, and if he hits all 7, he's gonna have also a full hand.
Oh, we don't go for the formula?
I mean, this formula is just so good here.
I understand why Shodox went for True Shot Barrage, but I feel like formula is just so much better here, no?
No, I think clearing the board when Chicas has like little to no cards in hand and also only has 1 portal in deck, Shodox is going to have a huge board, and Chicas will not be able to deal with it because Chicas only has 1 card in hand. And because any card that Chicas could play, we do have a mini morph to hold up for next turn just to make it, any card that is overpowering for a block or anything, we're going to mini morph that into a 3/3.
Yeah.
All right, no portal.
Wait. Why do we? I'm confused.
Electric Collection says top 10 cards.
Does it actually say top 10 cards?
Yes.
What? I actually did not know that ever.
Yeah.
That is actually unfortunate, really.
Still, even as Shodox, you're still in a really good position. But Chicas does have to, use this Electric Collection to at least maybe potentially get a board anytime soon, because Shodox will hit that bomb anytime soon, and that will be really scary for Chicas.
Oh my god, I think this is the first time where we've had actually a full board of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is about to get really hectic. Why did I ask for this? Okay, time to do math, kids. What's 14 minus 3? That's 11. Okay. And we hit 1 portal. That's...
I think we still have 5 more cards to draw before those portals are hit.
We have 6 portals now.
Yeah. Oh, we're using your own unit to just transform it into a 3/3. Oh, and now we have the bug of this card is now just a phantom card on board.
I love it. 1 portal, 1 shroom.
Oh, the streams are starting to hit. Ooh, Chicas is at 4, and we do have lethal. Yeah, that's lethal. And unfortunately, Chicas will not make it into semifinals, and Shodox is moving forward into the semifinals to play against Alcime. And the other side of the bracket, we do have Kaizen and Goofy. Good job to Chicas to making the top 8, and congratulations to Shodox to moving on to semifinals. Good games from all.
Yeah, one match that did not get reported while we were on stream is Goofy 2-1ing GZ Never Walk Alone. I feel like Goofy would be the underdog in that matchup, and Goofy pulled it off. Congratulations to Goofy. So yes, our next round will be AVG Kaizen versus Goofy and Alsum versus Shodox. I'm actually really excited now. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on tonight.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see these matchups and these things. Hopefully, who are you hoping to win the tournament overall?
Honestly, I haven't seen Shotox win a tournament in a hot minute. I think it would be cool to see Shotox win a tournament again. It's been a very long time. He's more of a for fun gamer in tournaments, but to see him go this far is actually really fun, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm pretty torn on between Goofy and Shotox. Personally, I might want to see Shotox because I see Yep Croc in there, and Yep Croc holds a lot of memories to me. However, I do know Goofy, and Goofy is a really good person, and I really would love to see them win the tournament as well because they're a good underdog, and I hope to see that narrative come true.
Yeah. And with that, we're going to throw it to a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be back with the next round here shortly. Welcome back, everybody. Aegis Esports monthly tournaments. I'm still Hirsch. That's still Cash. Cash, are you still with me? I can't tell because you're just staring into my soul with a blank face.
No, I'm just here. Sometimes I just stare into the soul of my enemies, and you are one of them, you know?
I don't know what I did.
I'm kidding.
I don't know what I did. I didn't do anything, I swear, man. But for those of you who are just joining us, let me give you a recap of what just happened last round. We had Shodox versus Chicas. Chicas lost 2-0 to Shodox. We had a mirror matchup with Lux Nora versus Jace Nora, and unfortunately, Shodox was able to find his Nora first, turbo level the Nora quickly, and get extreme value out of that Nora, and basically put Chicas down 2-0 before Chicas could even get his Nora going. So with that, we are going to throw it to the bracket screen and see our next matchups here. We have ABG Keeson versus Goofy. We have Shodox versus Awesome One. And which match are we going to be watching right now, Cash?
Today we are going to be watching for the semifinals. We're going to be watching Keeson versus Goofy, and I am ready to root for Goofy for the underdog. But Keeson is probably favored to win the matchup, just being seed 1 in the tournament and went 4-1 in the tournament and almost was undefeated. Unfortunately, losing to, I believe, Chicas in the Swiss round. But I am looking forward to exciting to see this matchup. I see Keeson. How many wins has Keeson gotten so far?
This is technically his 5th win out of today. So
well,
with that, let's throw it straight on into the decks, get on into this matchup because these guys are are waiting to go. We have Nyla Jana from ABG Keeson. Why don't you take this one away, Cash?
Well, Nyla Jana, is still a very aggressive aggro mid-range deck, and looking at this, we are going to go pumping out as many units as possible and hopefully draw as fast as possible while treating our enemy Nexus's health. And that's one thing I love about Jana and Nyla. Though, however, we might be seeing this deck get banned. We didn't get to see it last time because it did get banned from, I believe, the other side for Chicas, I believe. Yes.
Yeah. And moving on to Keeson's second deck, I see Ionia. I'm allergic to the pink region. Lilia Kale. You were talking about this a little bit or for a hot second. This is one of the decks that is on the meta list right now. But I'm trying to figure out what this deck is all about. It's all about getting your sprightly. Oh, I see what we're doing. It's basically just a Zolani deck, buffing your units, getting them to trade in valuably, and just getting your Zolani over the top and winning through Zolani. Or you can win through Kale. That's also a win con as well.
And that's usually the standard point of Kale decks in modern times, is that Kale and Zolani are the ones that are usually pushing for the end game in all her decks, and usually are trying to just trade up all their units just so that we can get the Zolani win condition. However, it does fold pretty hard to some conditions of just killing their Zolani before they can swing, but they do have protection playing Ionia, so we might see this Zolani definitely swing in as an 18-18 with their whole board transferring into her.
Yes. And moving on to the third and final deck, I'm assuming this is a Mordekaiser deck. It is a Mordekaiser deck. It's a Mordekaiser Morgana deck with Mahira Aspect Ascendant for a top end unit. I absolutely think this card is extremely strong. It is insane. It plays this deck plays like every other Mordekaiser deck, but honestly there are some interesting decks in here. Like we also have a Brewer Sentinel in here as well, just for whenever we slay a unit with a spell, we get a nice buff little unit on the board to kind of trade or get some nice little trades in for us. And obviously we this is actually something I don't normally see in this kind of deck. I see Deathgrass Cultist, which is also an interesting tech card as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Morgana and Mordekaiser again. I still am in love with this deck, and I think it's never lost its presence in the standard rotation when they do have Morgana and Mordekaiser in the game. So I'm not surprised to see if this deck gets to see play and does win its games. I think this might be one of the strongest decks in the meta.
Yeah. And moving on to the other side of the matchup, Mr. Goofy, the man, the myth, the legend himself. We have Elise, Nocturne, Fearsome, Aggro. Now we're cooking. Now this is my type of deck we're looking in here. We're looking to swarm the board with as much Fearsome units as possible, early on as possible, buffing up our mist race with Mist Wraiths themselves. We have Risen Mist just to get burst speed Mist Wraiths as well, and Wraith Callers for an extra Mist Wraith as well, just to get everything going. And then if we can't get there to the end, we have this cool little card that says the Harrowing, that says, you know what, bring back every single unit I've had die this entire game, and you know what it's going to be pulling, Cash? Yeah, that's right, it's going to be pulling Mist Wraiths.
Yep, and that's the power of the Mist Wraiths is that they'll keep their power throughout the whole game. I definitely have seen this deck before, and well known. I've seen a good old person called Nick Makes Plays has played this deck before, and I'm pretty familiar with it.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite decks in the meta right now. And moving on to the second deck of the night, we have Action Sivir, but with Bandle City as the tech.
I wonder what we're in Bandle City for. Are we just there just to get Risu and Windsgiving? It looks like it. Maybe just to pop a spell shield with Pytos. But we're just basically making sure that we are kind of just playing mono Shurima with a tiny bit of a landmark and a tiny bit of an interaction spell.
I've never seen Wings Giving here. What is Wings? I don't think I've ever seen Wings Giving be played. So for story one or for turns 1 to 2, pick an ally, then pick one of 3 followers that cost 1 more to transform it into. Okay, so it's timelines. And then pick an ally, then pick one of 3 followers that cost 2 more to transform into it. So it's just basically timeline. So we're just basically looking for a timeline cheese. Got it. So the max that we're able to pull is a 7 cost unit. Interesting. Yeah, you used to play a lot of Action Sivir, right?
No, not me, but who definitely did. My good old roommate Aikido definitely loved playing Action Sivir. Ionia version.
I think this is just like a standard action. Well, I mean, this is not actually a standard Action Sivir list because we have a bunch of in the brush units. Actually, yeah, we have like a decent amount of in the brush units. So I wouldn't say this is a standard Action Sivir list. This is not really. I'm so confused, and I'm interested to see how this deck is going to play out, honestly. But moving on to the third and final deck of Goofy, we have Morgana, Udyr. Once again, go big, go tall, win the game, ooga booga, hit face. That's basically all that needs to be said about this deck.
No, that's Freljord Demacia for you. Go big, go home.
Exactly. Now let's go into the matchup screen, see all 3 decks all at once. What are we thinking for bans, Cash?
If I were on Keezen's side, I would probably ban probably Auction. Just because of the Bandle City, I don't know about Action Sivir. It's either Action Sivir or Morgana here. I'm not so worried about the Mist Wraiths, but if I were Goofy, I might ban just Morgana. Morgana Mordekaiser, just because how powerful they can be. But if you were to go for a secondary ban, it could be Jan and Nyla.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Let me see what the bans are here. I gotta sift through all these DMs that everybody keeps blowing me up. No, I'm just kidding. I have nobody blowing me up. I'm just a dirty liar. I'm sorry. We get to see the Sivir Action deck get banned. I don't know if that was extreme, if that was really ban worthy. Honestly, I'm gonna be real.
It can be a little scary because Sivir can definitely provide a lot of value, and maybe we're kind of afraid of the transform part of the deck that can just, maybe RNG us out of a win, just because Sivir will just share all those keywords.
And we do see Morgana Mordekaiser on the other side as well, which that does make sense. I can agree with that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So now comes the question I always ask everybody I cast with Cash. See, I'm stuttering too. What deck are we queuing up first?
If I was Goofy, I'd probably queue up Mist Wraiths, and if I was Keezen, I would probably queue up Janna Nyla.
See, I would agree with you on the Mist Wraiths call, but I think on this for Keezen, I would probably start with Nyla or Lilia Kale, just because that deck is able to compete with Mist Wraiths.
Yeah, I mean, if we're Keezen, we're expecting them to play Mist Wraiths, they're definitely picking Kale, Lilia, just because we want to trade up our units into an aggro game plan.
What if I told you we were 50% right?
Is it Udyr? Are we seeing Udyr here?
We are seeing Udyr here. We're seeing Udyr into Lilia, Kale, and on the side of Keezen, oh man. Actually, I lied. Yeah, the hand is okay for Keezen. Whereas Goofy, we do have a little bit of a higher end hand. Nothing to really get us going through the early game. We're going to see some past gaming here.
Going straight up to round 3 just so that we can play out the Lilia. People are just passing back and forth and trying to keep up the spell mana. However, Lilia does have quick strike, discounting her champion spell is pretty good.
Yeah. We do see the Spriteling coming out of Keezen's hand. Next, we're going to see Mr. Root just to get an extra card down, but now that Goofy has his setup going, we could start taxing Keezen out of his hand.
Yeah. We had to get rid of that so that we can eventually play spells, especially when we're playing against a challenger deck or having a challenger on board. It can be a little scary just because if we don't have any interaction, we are not going to be able to save our Lilia.
Yeah. Udyr coming down onto the board, going to lock us out of doing anything else. But this Udyr is going immediately down to the grave.
Keezen's probably checking to see if there's any 1-mana spells that can probably screw him over. Unfortunately, I do not think Goofy has any 1-mana spells that can deal with this.
Actually, I think Keezen's debating on taking down the 3/6. I actually like taking down the 3/6 better, just because that 3/6 can generate a lot more value for this Udyr, which we want to slow down this Udyr, or slow down this deck as much as possible.
Ooh, we're just going to play a unit.
Alrighty, we're just going to play Mr. Root and call it a day. Interesting play. Because now that we're not pulling off this 3/6 off the board, it does give us a little bit of trouble for the next card that Goofy does play. Because now we're just going to play regen.
Remind me, what does the sleep mechanic do?
The sleep mechanic, it puts a whatever unit back or into a landmark, kind of like what's the Shurima card?
Lysandra.
No, yeah, sure, Lysandra, that works too. That her spell as well. But when it's resummoned, it gets all of its stats back and also its effect. So it basically just resummons a unit.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, sir. So we see the Babbling Beer getting played right now, pulling a Udyr off the top. Lilia just going out for the swing, but we do have a Pale Cascade in hand to match this, but it doesn't matter because we have a Gentleman's Duel.
I mean, we just have Troll Chant
too. I mean, I guess you can just ruin my my hype, but now we're just gonna sleep the Lilia just to protect it as much as possible here and value it.
Now we can potentially get 2 Lilias out on board.
We can. We actually can. Well, we see board stance coming out. Like I said, this value of this 3/6 is going to start generating it. This is why we should have taken it off on the first round or the last swing. Because now we
kill here.
This is so, you're not allowed to play the kill here.
I think the kill helps just buff up everything and just, you know, makes it more favorable trades. And because we're holding up, you know, a bounce in hand, I think we're pretty good on just bouncing and sleeping one of our units to protect them, which can actually just help us, you know, play against Uyghur and his overwhelm.
And I feel like this game's gonna spiral out of control now just because we didn't get rid of this unit.
I think we're gonna definitely bounce this Udyr, and we're definitely going to sleep our kill here.
I think sleeping the kill is correct. I don't think we have to bounce the Udyr quite yet. Oh, we're just letting the kill die.
Or trying to bait out any interaction. Okay. We do have 2 Zolanis in hand, so, you know, the longer we go, you know, the more she gets better. What's the power of Zolani at right now?
Zolani is at 6/6.
That's a little late.
Ooh, and we did lose a unit as well.
We've seen more chains, and on the Goofy side, this might be looking more favored for Goofy just because this Udyr is going to get really big and start controlling this board.
Yeah, this Udyr is about to go crazy right now. Especially now that we have 2 of these units that I can't remember the name of, and it's bothering me. Blade-bound Berserker. Yes. Now we get 3 silences.
Yeah, this
and
is
that's
just
taxing.
Yeah, this is it's like extremely taxing. Ooh, pulling a silence is pretty good for us, but I don't know if it will help us too much just because we are getting overwhelmed on 3 different units.
Oh, we can just send this over the top even more, man.
Sleeping an ally here, I don't know if that's a good call here.
So, I believe the Lilia is about to flip. If Lilia flips, yep, so now we can sleep an ally, and when we sleep an ally, it immediately wakes up.
But we're passing back priority, which is the concern.
I don't think Goofy's looking to swing right now. I think he's looking to, play the Inner Beast and just growing these units as big as possible.
Yeah, we're looking to go all in on this turn.
And we're buffing our spirit allies even further now just to kind of match this board presence. But it's not going to be enough, really. We do have the we do have the sleep and the hush to kind of survive, but like, what are we doing after?
Now we have to kill this Udyr this turn so that it's just gone and out of the hand.
We do see the Morgana flip now. That's just going to even put more pressure on Keezen. We're just so close to getting this Zilani to flip, but it's not going to be enough, man. This is really tragic.
I think we might just open swing here. Yep. Ooh, and we even have Troll Chant. Ah, that's a little scary.
Yeah, there's nothing that can be done. That's just lethal.
GG to Goofy. Goofy now currently 1-0 over Hazen. We just need one more game. If we can get that win with Mist Race, we can definitely take it home to first place.
I think he has a very strong chance of going into it, especially into Lilia Kale. It all depends. Like if we get a slow hand like we kind of did last game, Lilia Kale will not do well, but I think Nyla and Janna also does pretty well into this fearsome deck, just depending on how late the game goes as well.
Yeah. Oh, but we're gonna play Nyla Janna. I guess we're going for good old comfort here. Maybe because we have the Howling Gales and Divine Warwinds, so that we're just trying to secure a win into this deck, just so that we can do it. Ooh, we're shipping back the whole hand. We're just looking for, I guess, Janna here as fast as possible, but I don't know. Seeing these Mist Race and hand and the Scattering Skitter, this Goofy has a really strong start, especially holding up a Harrowing. Goofy just has a really good game plan into the end.
Yeah. And we see that Goofy or Keezen still doesn't have any actions to do, so we're just gonna take this 3 damage straight up. See, if we're not able to really do anything early on, it's just really, really rough for us.
Yeah, no, it's really, really bad for us. Man, I can just see us just playing a Mist Wraith this turn, the next turn play Scattering Skitter, and then playing the 1 mana just for tempo here.
Yeah.
We might just go ahead and use Mirror to just copy this Mist Wraith and just play 2 Mist Wraith here.
I'm honestly okay with just... Okay, yeah, I mean, we can do that too. I was okay with playing our 2/3 Spider, but getting an extra 3 damage on the board is really nice as well.
Yeah. Hazen is starting to run out of resources, but still has 2 blockers at the very least. But we do see the Harrowing hand, and it's still going to be very scary for Keezen.
Yeah, for sure. And we do see on the other side of the bracket, we see some 2-0ing Shodox. So the winner of this match goes to get up against Awesome in the finals.
Damn. Good game for Shodox for making it that far into the tournament, and congrats to Awesome to making the grand finals. We hope to see them play into the grand finals, and we hope to see their games.
Yeah. And Keezen probably feeling a little bit better now that we were able to kind of control this board a little bit. But it doesn't really matter because Oh, we're burning all of our mana. Yep, and we're burning all of our mana right now. Just to survive. So we're taking 4. We just need 3. And on next token, Goofy just wins.
Yeah, I know, it's just gonna be really scary for season here. We might definitely see Goofy in the finals here.
See what we get off of this.
Ooh, hitting the updraft is actually probably really crucial here.
So we hit gotcha. We marry him. Yeah, we just play our all hand here. No, you need the divine draft.
Yeah. I don't know. I think even just like drawing one is probably not even like that good for us, but maybe we're just trying to do that. I think we definitely need the mana for next turn. Well, we did draw back into it, so that's good, but we're gonna see probably like 3 to 4 3 miss rays and a scattering skitter here, so they're not gonna be able to block.
Yeah, this is just that's just game for Keezen. Oh wait. No, that's still just game. Yeah, there's nothing Keezen can do here. We were just very slow getting our board going, and Goofy wins 2-0 going on into the finals against Awesome One.
Yeah. Good job to Keezen for making it this far, but you know, couldn't get there in the end, and miss race having harrowing in turn 1, that's just you know, sometimes a little bit unlucky.
Yeah. And with that, like I said, we will be seeing Keezen, or we will be seeing Awesome going up against Goofy. But this is the last match that we will be seeing, hanging out with Cash. Cash, thank you so much for coming and joining with us. It's been a blast having you on the desk. I hope you had fun casting with me today.
I did, and I was really happy to see all the games today. I'm really glad to be here for you guys and for the community. You know, I hope everyone has a great day, and I, you know, continue supporting Aegis Esports and their endeavors. Thanks for having me here, Hirsch. Thanks for having me, Red, and everyone.
Any final words you wanna throw out to everybody in the community before we say goodbye to you, Cash?
Well, I hope everyone is having a great time, and if you're a hard point of your life, you know, just make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Also, if you want to play any other card games, there is also Final Fantasy trading card game, and yes, there is one. It's really fun. You should try it.
All right, with that, we will be back with a new caster and a new face. Well, new to you guys right now, but he has been around in the community for a while as well. Thank you once again, Cash, for casting with us again today. And stay tuned, guys. We'll be back for the finals in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Aegis Esports monthly tournament. We are not in semifinals. We are in the finals right now with Awesome 1 versus Goofy. I have with me, I'm still Hirsch, by the way. That's Card Gamer over here, my good friend. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Unfortunately, I was not able to play in this tournament today, but it seems really exciting from everything I've heard about so far. The meta seems super fresh from what I've seen hopping on the ladder recently. Rotation's pretty interesting. And then, it's really nice to see some names popping up that are, maybe not like the names that people think of back right before LoR had its unfortunate end to the Riot-sponsored competitive scene. But these guys were definitely grinding in the scene, and there are names that I recognize, and I'm sure plenty of other players recognize too. So it's really cool to see them in the finals today.
Yes. So let's throw it over to the bracket screen so we can catch you up on what happened today. Why don't you take us through the bracket, Card Gamer?
Yeah, so looking at the bracket, we got a bunch of players that I recognize from the time playing LoR. You have some old school guys like Shodox and Kaizen who've, won some of the first original tournaments. You have some people who popped up a bit later and had, some time in the sun, like Luna, kind of Awesome, and Goofy, who, made it all the way to the finals. And then, some insane EU players that just happened to come over here and play some games in Barcode and Never Walk Alone. So just a really stacked top cut today, and, really impressive for these two to make it out of that.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this final match. But let us throw it off into the decks. Now we will start with Awesome One's decks with Jace Lux. Why don't you take this one away?
Yeah, so Jace Lux is kind of a classic deck. This deck has been around since Jace came out, kind of slowly getting better and getting these tools over time. And, it's just a really solid mid-range deck. It can flex into an aggressive game plan really well, just playing this 3-3 beatdown, having a lot of burn, and Lux and Jace are also just really great engines to grind out. So it's a very fun deck that is really flexible, pretty strong. So excited to see what else he pairs with it.
Well, the next deck that we have popping up is Action Pantheon. Two cards that actually pair really well together right now because they both do the same thing. When you play a spell on a unit, or when you play a spell or equip, you progress the champion even further. Honestly, this is actually really big throwback, but the thing that catches me is we're really unit shy in this deck.
Yeah, we are definitely unit shy in this deck, and one thing that this deck kind of had before to help supplement that issue was the Darkened Bloodletter, one of the most powerful equipment in the game. And unfortunately that did not make it back to standard, so that combined with the small unit package is definitely going to be a little bit problematic. But this was always a deck based around hitting a champion, getting the right weapon on them, and then just kind of riding that out to victory. So if that happens, we're going to be in a great spot. But yeah, it is a little bit scary when that primary game plan doesn't work now.
Did Saga Seeker get rotated too?
I would imagine if it's not in here, but Saga Seeker's also a 1/1, so I can understand wanting to just play this Bakai to filter and just try and find those cards that are actually winning you the game.
Yeah, fair enough. And moving on to the third and final deck, a deck that we've seen pop up once again, Nyla Jana. Why don't you take this one away?
So Nyla Jana, it looks pretty similar to Nyla Jana that I'm sure everyone's familiar with when it originally hit standard. There are a couple differences going on here, though. We have the Eager Dedicant, which I believe is one of the newer cards that came out in 2024, I believe. And that's just replacing the brash little monkey guy from Nyla Jana, who was very, very powerful. And then we also got Ruined Rex, who was, a staple of these Eternal Temple decks that we saw, but I believe this is his first time making his way into standard, at least his first time since I've been seriously invested in the game. So it'd be very cool to see John and Nyla actually play with this card instead of just playing it to flip Ezreal.
Yeah, and moving on to Goofy's lineup, we'll take this a little slow just to get you caught up on these. We have Elise Nocturne Mist Race, the standard Fearsome Aggro Mist Race deck, but without They Who Endure. But it's still a very powerful deck even without They Who Endure.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of different versions of mist wraiths over the years. It's interesting to see the tech card we're going with is Precious Pet this time, just really looking to get on the ground and be aggressive, really pushing that early chip. And then seeing 3 of this landmark. The landmark is very powerful, but it definitely can be a little bit scary to be spending unit mana in a deck like this, not on unit. So I'm very interested to see how effective that landmark is and if 3 is too much.
Yeah, moving on to the second deck, we have Action Sivir. Maybe you can shed some light on this one. Why are we teching in Bandle City besides for Wings Giving?
I mean, I guess we're just doing some funny things. I was about to say a man after my own heart, and then I saw we're in Bandle. I mean, I love some Action Sivir, but I don't know why we're in Bandle fully. I mean, Wings Giving certainly can be a powerful card and cheating value. Risu definitely does that as well when you pair it with the Wings Giving, but yeah, I mean, we're definitely just playing some strong Vandal cards, so.
Like, at most, we're only pulling a 7-cost unit, but, like, I'm just very confused.
I mean, one thing about this Akshan Sivir package is the Shurima package itself is, like, pretty strong, so if you're thinking, like, hey, what I really need out of this deck is just to create a bit more value, you know, like, out of cards like these Shurima cards that have strong effects, but maybe not the best bodies anymore. Like Wings Giving actually supplements that. Like an issue with this deck can have, right, is like you don't have the way to deal with these little units to get your units to hit, right? Like you get Pie Toss, right? There's some interesting reasons to be in Vandal. I haven't played enough Standard to really have a strong opinion, but it's definitely an interesting take on the deck. And like I mentioned, Sivir Akshan can play very self-contained in Shurima, so you really actually do kind of have this ability to flex into Vandal if you'd like.
Yeah. And moving on to the third and final deck, a deck that we saw do very extremely well in the last match against Keezen, Morgana Udyr. Why don't you take this one away?
Yeah, so Morgana Udyr is a deck that became very, very real after the introduction of this 4-cost Udyr follower, the I believe it's called the Bladebound Berserker, where you double any spell. Is it slow spell, I believe, that it's cast on it?
Yep.
And it's just very, very powerful for not only Udyr flips, but combining with these really strong Morgana cards like Fettering to just make your opponent that is trying to use spells in their game plan fall even further behind than they would before, which is already like really hard for them to contest this unit deck. So it just makes you kind of the biggest deck on the block. So it can be very tricky to get around this deck.
Yeah, and it's not just slow spells on it. It's if you cast a slow spell on another unit, it casts the same spell on this card.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I've never seen the interaction with Cataclysm, so I'm kind of interested how that will work out.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either. So, hopefully Goofy will show us this game, but yeah. I don't know. It might look like this will be the ban considering what we've seen of the lists, but, you know, that's something for these players to decide for themselves and us to find out.
So let's throw it on into the matchup screen and see all 3 decks all at once. What are we thinking for bans, Card Gamer?
I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. Like, on first rip, I am almost, from the perspective of also, I'm really scared of this Morgana Udyr deck. Like, I feel as if our Lux Jace deck will have a bit of trouble going as fast as it needs to. And then Nyla Jana might be able to get there. And we do have some strong tools in this Pantheon deck, right? Like, Pantheon's very good in these board-centric matchups. But Udyr's kind of like a Freljord Pantheon, right? So we do have some evasiveness that we can hit in elusive. We have barriers, so it's interesting. But they can play freeze. They have more strikes than we do at faster speed. So I would be a bit concerned about this Udyr deck. But I can also see a world where they just don't want to try and contest Harrowing as the type of decks that they have on their side. So it's really interesting. I would imagine it is the Udyr ban. For the side of Goofy, though, I would imagine that we're probably most scared of this. I would imagine we're either banning Pantheon or we're banning John and Nyla. A lot of people tend to disrespect Lux Jace, even if it is the correct ban. I don't really know if that's the case, but the way that Pantheon gets really big on the board and the way that John and Nyla can go fast, I feel like Lux Jace is kind of in between, and if you're Goofy, you're kind of deciding what you would rather deal with, the faster things or the slower things, and banning according to that. And it looks like both players said, I don't want to deal with the slower things, let's play a nice and quick round finals, grab some dinner, you know, celebrate with this prize money, these coins, you know, buy some skins. And let's get into it, Hirsch.
Yes, sir. And on the side of Awesome, we're looking at a pretty decent hand, honestly.
Yeah, so you have your engine pieces in the champions, which are really, really strong. The one thing you are missing that like most people are looking for is the Temple on curve, which is going to be pretty important in this matchup. While like Temple on 5 isn't exactly applying a lot of pressure against the Fearsomes, I would imagine that playing this Ruined Rex we see in hand and having him, clear the board is pretty important in this matchup, as we don't really have a lot of Fearsome blockers in this deck. And we don't play the boat to make our units fearsome, right? Yeah. So we're definitely going to struggle a little bit blocking. So we're definitely going to have to race, force blocks, or just clear the board with something like this Ruined Rex. So be very interested to see how Also manages to get there, how they decide to apply the tempo. And we do have the Slipstream coming off the top. I imagine that ends up getting sent back in the deck with Janna, considering it's a little bit awkward to play. But we also have Miriam. There's actually a lot of really interesting decisions that we're allowed to go for this side on the turn of Awesome. And just opening with the Nyla as a kind of a soft pass to try and understand what his role is in the game. Very good play. This is a player I know is very good at Janna Nyla. Put a lot of reps in this deck in back when these heroes first came out. So I would expect type play like this from them.
Yeah. See what we get. See if we can finally hit that temple.
Ooh, and no temple, but these are definitely some very good draws in terms of getting us where we need to be, and a cheaper Ruined Rex is pretty good, getting the opportunity to jam it down now if we even decide to do that to try and clear some of the board.
So do we play the Miriam, draw one extra card right now?
And then try and play the Ruined Rex? It looks like that is the line. Kind of what we have to do, considering that these are some beta level looking spiders. I don't know if you guys were playing back then, but this used to be a 3/3 back then, and it was messed up, and it's looking pretty messed up right now. This what is it?
Frenzy Skitter.
Yeah, Frenzy Skitter. Thank you. That card is not looking very nice on the board. Okay, so we actually decided to not go for the draw. We actually went for something a lot smarter. Like I said, a very clean play, taking advantage of both of the updrafts or all three of the updrafts this turn to draw as many cards as possible to try and wipe this board. And it looks like we are going to, unfortunately, hit the X1 a lot of times, but I do think it was a smart play. It was the right idea. And we are going to actually end up being able to prevent a lot of damage this game and trade down the board, which is going to actually put us in a pretty scary position on the side of Goofy if we don't end up running into those Harrowings in the later game to fully push through. We do have the Skitterer plus the Soul Cleave combo, which will do a lot to wipe the board if we don't draw any removal on the side of Awesome to, counteract this Nocturne effect. But we are racing down, right? And if we do draw some removal with this Janna in hand or with this Slipstream, we have the potential to really stabilize this game and make it really hard for Goofy. And do you see what I see, Hirsch?
I see what you see. This Nocturne's getting taken off the board.
Yeah, seems to be the case. I imagine that's way higher value than any Janna play could ever be.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome has a lot of damage coming through this. Oh, wait, never mind. I forgot. We had to rip the Nocturne first.
Yep, but we still get to... we don't actually get to push in any damage this turn, but, I think it's okay on the side of Awesome. You're kind of positioning yourself as the bigger deck at this point, and your opponent is either going to have to push through on this next turn or kind of draw a Harrowing to really be getting there, it seems like. We do have this Janna spell to draw and give us one block. So we're going to be taking 10 this turn so far. Looking like we're going to do the Skitterer probably on the 4/4, which is going to...
We're taking more than 10.
Yeah, wait. Oh,
that's
okay.
lethal.
That is lethal. I'm guessing... Do we play Mystic Shot in this deck?
I think we do. But Mystic
The
Shot.
out we maybe needed to go for was draw into a Mystic Shot and like Nyla spell. Okay, this is gonna give us one block. Okay, looks like Awesome saw some outs. He saw the line. Okay, well that gets us to 1. We can't draw any more this turn, and we don't actually have access to removal. So
Wait, what do we?
yeah,
What do we?
There wasn't really an out with the draws that happened. Just
Yeah, I was about to say we were in negatives.
Goofy showing the power of fearsomes, showing the power of the landmark and why you play it, and clearly this is why he's in the finals, and I'm not playing this game anymore because he understands interactions like that, right?
Yeah.
Just a clear example of like understanding like the power thing of your deck and trying to push damage. I'm guessing he had a understanding he had that much damage, and part of the reason to clear Janna was, to prevent these updrafts, cheating mana to stop that turn, having extra like draws with the Janna spells that also buff all of these sorts of things. So. Yeah.
From what
pretty impressive game from the side of Goofy, but also playing very well to try and get his outs.
Yeah, from what I've learned from playing that deck, like Iron Conquest, it's a nice card. You only use it when you have actually nothing else to really play. It's just kind of like a backup just to kind of keep that tempo going.
Yeah, well, I mean, it did keep our tempo going after our Nocturne got cleared, the ability to keep spamming out that Frenzied Skitter and really abuse that effect to push us over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And now on the side of Awesome, a little bit of a awkward hand. I almost wonder if we just end up throwing down this 3-1 this turn after our opponent plays. Yeah, apply some pressure, have a blocker if need be, and kind of, if you played enough John and Miley, you understand the curve, you realize, like, this 2 mana isn't really being saved. It's going to kind of need to be played at some point because unless you have specific draws, you're not playing anything this turn, or it's like a 2 mana unit, and yeah, just get down. And in this case, right, like we did end up playing something this turn, but kind of just conceding that this 2-cost card push 3 and traded, like, yeah, we can play it for free, but we just need the tempo, and it really heads up play getting that down. Really big fan of that play.
Yeah. So we see Janna coming down, and we're being heads up that the only thing that's really stopping us is the landmark removal, which what Armed Acquisitioner is most likely to get.
Yeah, so just deciding to play this game without the landmark, but unfortunately, and kind of scarily on the side of Awesome, by getting this Janna down and using our mana last turn, we don't actually have a way to try and contest this auction before the glaive comes online. That being said, we are very light on tricks on the side of Goofy, and we do have multiple sources of interaction on the side of Awesome, so interested to see how we end up trying to play this one. There is a very high-risk line with the strike on the side of Goofy, but I would imagine we're just going to be a lot more respectful with the open attack, but the open pass by Awesome is pretty scary. There's definitely worlds where you take this pass as Goofy. Definitely a interesting game state we've arrived in.
Is there a reason we're not playing the Divine World? Oh, okay, I was about to say. Just waiting for the committal of the swing to be able to play this.
Yeah, and kind of a little bit scary to be in that position, right? Facing down the auction with that. If they do have the trick, you fall very far behind, but kind of a position recognizing we kind of just need to rip it and then play it from there. Oh, we did have the backup though. I'm sorry, I missed that was a backup Whirlwind in hand. So we were able to always clear it, but we're getting rewarded and able to play out this draw 2 instead and start to establish a board. And this is really where you want to be on the side of Goofy. Yes, the Silver will start to, or the side of Awesome, I'm sorry. Yes, the Silver will get the glaive and it will start pumping itself up, but there is no overwhelm keyword. We are in a pretty safe position, and it looks like probably the correct call on the side of Awesome, just electing to use these spells to try and shoot through the Sivir.
I like the heads up play of not playing the Divine Whirlwind instead. Opting to play the slow spell first. Now this puts us in a very favorable position just to get these nice comfortable trades.
Yeah. And as this Akshan Sivir deck, we are in a pretty scary position. We've lost both of our champions. We don't have an Akshan on the board to get the upgraded Palace. And yes, this Risu is nice, but there are plenty of chumpers, plenty of removal on the side of Awesome. And we are very reliant on whatever this Horde is actually going to pull us, which is not your favorite position to be in on the side of Goofy, but we do have another game to play if needed. So definitely not the end of the world right now, but that gotcha is looking tough.
Yeah.
We have that. We have plenty of draw cards. We have another of the draw 2 quick attack guy. We also have the Elefante. Just a lot of value on the side of Awesome with a Janna flip coming on the back of everything. So a pretty scary position to be in.
Absolutely. Oh man, Awesome did a really fantastic job of just stabilizing and bringing this game back to his favor.
Yeah. Recognizing, his role in the matchup. And like I said, last game was a little bit unfortunate, but this was a player where I definitely started to notice them more in that John and Nyla season. It might just be coincidence, but I also would not be surprised if this is one of the decks that they're very comfortable on.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why, I started noticing their name a lot more around that time. Just very clean on it.
Finding second
Sivir. About the Warlords or the Palace being a very important to hit, and we pull the Sivir. We don't have a Absolver in hand, but we can always generate Overwhelm off of the Glaive, and then Sivir Flip can definitely pull us over the edge, but just even more removal on the side of Awesome. I believe the Janna Flip is coming next turn. Nyla Flip is on the way as well. Just a very, very difficult position to claw yourself out of as Goofy.
Yeah.
Even with that Sivir off the top.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then Nyla with the flip is going to do a very good job of helping clear up the Sivir efficiently as well, even if they would try and use the Glaive. Just knocking her down, pushing the damage through the spell shield even.
You can flip Janna this turn, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Look, going for the Janna flip, getting the evasiveness, the extra draw next turn. And it's going to be very difficult to see a way how Goofy can manage to salvage the game at this point. There's a solid draw and some very clean play on the side of Awesome, just navigating to a very favorable spot in this endgame.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and pushing even more, just truly recognizing how oppressive this deck can be and just trying to get every ounce of damage. And thankfully, we can clear this Janna next turn. The power bundle, like I was mentioning, that pie toss coming in clutch. Let's clear up the Janna next turn. But I think that's actually a second Janna in hand, not a regular version of the Howling Gale, I believe. Is that called?
Yeah.
So, definitely just going to be putting the hurt on Goofy. Yeah, Goofy realizing the writing on the wall and just saying, it's okay.
We got next
time
game.
to go to the next game. It's a better matchup. We're playing a real mid-range mirror. You're not allowed to go under me as effectively. And, this will be a really interesting game to see. Both of these decks are able to get on the board pretty well. What Shurima lacks in its defensive abilities on their units is kind of okay because they're going to be trading pretty effectively with these Demacia units a lot of the time. That being said, we have more challengers on the side of Demacia, right? We have access to quick attack as well, and we also have more strike spells. And Lux's removal is really powerful. So very interested to see how this matchup ends up playing out.
I imagine we're just kicking this Lux and we're kicking the Albus on the side of
Lux
Awesome.
is a great card, especially if we're attacking on evens, which I have not seen the token. But
yes,
keeping Lux, I would imagine we're on evens. Dude, look, I still got it. What can I say? I still got it. And Alpha's got it too, dude. He knows about keeping Lux on evens into these board-based matchups. It's very, very impressive. And now this Forge Chief is absolutely fantastic. We have the 4/4 to come down on 3 if we like. We also have the ability to go 6 cost spell. But I imagine this game ends up looking like Well, it depends what happens next turn, but we have the ability to go 4-4 or Shock Blast, just whatever looks better. And then, depending on the draw, we go... well, single combat is interesting, a draw, but you have the ability to go 2 drops or 6 costs next turn, just depending on like how you want your curve and how you want to like set up your mana with Lux and Lux Flip. But the world is Awesome's oyster at this point. Ooh, that's messed up. That's not okay.
That's pretty messed up.
You have the ability to aftershock this turn, play your 2-drop, which I imagine is what we're going to elect to go for something like that, because then you have Lux next turn on your opponent's attack token with single combat backup into turn 6 Shock Blast, generating the Lux lasers, and just electing to pass down. Very big fan of that line. It's very similar to like playing out stuff, except you get to be more reactive because since you have this Lux, you really want your opponent to develop. So very happy with that pass. It is a little bit scary to block this Lux because of Pie Toss, but you are telling your opponent to have 2 cards if you elect to go for this block here with the Barrier and Forma backup. But it would be fair to say like I'm going to be respectful. I'll just take this 5. I won't actually take advantage of my barrier and just start using Lux as an engine. But, I mean, it is 2 cards. It's not necessarily the easiest to have, and it might be we need to take this block to try and take advantage of the game. Goofy is swinging that, saying, like, I do have the cards I need to take advantage of, you blocking. So it's definitely fair to respect that. And just, trying to abuse Lux as this really powerful engine champion. Super strong into Sivir with this play pattern, right? I kill one of your guys, I clear your spell shield with this Shock Blast, and then I go ahead and I kill Sivir with it, and forcing out the deny, but unfortunately for Goofy, he doesn't know we get to do it all again next turn.
Yeah.
No, we do have an interesting decision on the side of Awesome on how we will use this laser in terms of killing Akshan or trying to knock the Sivir spell shield off for next turn.
Opting to kill the Akshan, which is perfectly fine.
Yep. Akshan is definitely a scary card, right? We didn't get to see it last time, but Akshan's the Warlord's Palace, I believe it's called. The Warlord's Horde, I think the flipped side landmark is called, is a very powerful card.
Yeah, and Goofy now tapping out of mana just being able to take the Sivir off the board now to alleviate some more of that pressure.
Yeah, and just really taking advantage of the combination of Demacia and PNZ units to make Goofy's life really hard. And speaking of making his life hard, here's that second Shock Blast we were talking about that Goofy did not know about. And I think it's going to do some serious work if we decide to throw it down. Now on the side of Awesome, making sure it is the right decision, going through all the lines, when you're so close, you definitely want to make sure you're doing everything right. And actually interesting here, electing to go for the single combat to pop the spell shield and then just try and completely keep the board clear. Unfortunately, though, we are going to have the counterplay on the side of Goofy. Actually, no, because it still pops the... Yeah. You don't need power to pop the spell shield. It's not the same as Barrier, right?
Yeah.
If that was Barrier, he would be safe. He would be able to swing with Sivir and try and apply some of that tempo, but not able to get anything in. I imagine Goofy's going to accept this damage and then pop this little critter on the back end and be in a pretty strong position. Now, that being said, we are a bit low on the side of Goofy. We do have a draw and a predict next turn. So there's definitely ways to cheat this game. It's very hard to find them, but there are ways.
Opting to take the quick 8 damage, not letting Goofy develop at all. What do we get off the draw? We get an Akshan.
Now, a Warlord's Horde would be a very effective way to try and bridge the gap and get us over the top. But we are on a very tight timer. There are these 2 Jaces in hand, which means there's a doubled up Shock Blast with 2 lasers coming through next turn. So I think we might end up needing to see what is even getting us there on the side of Goofy. We need a deny next turn. And then we need to draw a deny, and then we need to grind out this game.
Do we even have enough for another deny? I don't think we played one already. Do we run more than one?
That is a question. Well, that's kind of like a deny.
Yeah.
It gets the job done.
It
Many
does
are
get the
saying.
job done. And you know what? We are only running one deny, so that was our only out. We have 2 Avenging Messiahs.
Yep. Oh, and very, very heads up, the side of Awesome. Understanding that this can be Avenging Messiah, that is one of the ways they saw out the game. And, just going ahead, using the Aftershock on it first, very heads up. But you can tell that this is someone who either A, still plays the game, or just B, was, very, very on point at the end. And they've kept playing, they've transitioned to another game, different strategy game, and everything's still very crisp. Playing very smart, making sure to not play into any card that, they know about and they have the luxury of playing around.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, deciding to try and push for lethal with this, going face, and clearing up this Avenging Messiah. And we do have the heal on the side of Goofy, so we do have the potential to live this turn. If we heal, if we get some defensiveness on Akshan, yep. And this will be keeping us alive this turn. So, that is big. That being said, it is a very scary position. We are very, very reliant on the Horde to proc and drag us over the edge. And we do have this Jace Gate on the side of Awesome, so we even have the potential to bring up 2 more lasers next turn to just try and bring this final bit of damage over the top.
Yeah. And Goofy realizing that there's no way for him to really get out and just accepting the loss.
Yep. And with the attack token, with the ability to make these lasers, with only a 1-drop off the top, there isn't really much for Goofy to do. And, despite that really impressive game 1, where, he just had that really indomitable fearsome board at the end, Awesome brings it back in the second too, taking advantage of that Sivir Bandle deck. And the fact that these units they're a little bit small, and they're a little bit easy to remove with some of these PZU tools that, Awesome brought plenty of this set.
Yeah. And for the people that just tuned in, why don't you give us a recap of the match while we see if we can get an interview with Awesome?
Yeah, so game 1 was a pretty straightforward Fearsomes versus John and Nyla game. This Fearsome keyword is really, really powerful against a lot of these regions. And we just kind of ran him over with this Fearsome keyword. Awesome did a good job of trying to play to his outs, but he wasn't able to get there. In game 2, on the flip side, Goofy, after a really strong game 1, recognizing he had an OTK and just playing to that, wasn't quite able to get there with the Sivir Bandle deck. We lack some of the defensive tools that like an Ionia Sivir Akshan deck would have, and we also lack some of the beefiness that these Demacia Sivir decks would have, and really got preyed on by these PNZ removal tools and the ability for this Janna deck to go really fast. And then in game 3 it was kind of a similar story. This Lux Jace deck is a little bit slower, and it's definitely a beefier deck with some of these challenger keywords because of Demacia, but really just taking advantage of the fact that Awesome had 2 decks that had good matchups into Sivir, saying, okay, I'm probably going to have a really hard time against Fearsomes. I knew about that coming in, but bouncing back really strong in these back 2.
Yeah, let's get Mr. Awesome in here for his interview. Congratulations, Awesome. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Nice, man. It's big to win one of these tournaments. I'm curious, how did you settle on that lineup? Are these just like decks you like to play? Are these the 3 strongest standard decks this patch, you think? What was the thought process?
So it started, the whole lineup was built around this Janna Neela deck. Mm-hmm. This is actually the deck that I played when I got my first ever top cut. I think the majority of all good results that I've had in tournament have been with this deck, so I definitely wanted to play that. The other two, I was less particular about. I wanted things that generally matched the speed of Jan and Neela. And I felt like Pantheon has been very strong it was strong in the last rotation and strong now. It got a bunch of new tools. Mountain Goat came back. Akshan obviously came back, and that was a big one. And then Lux Jace is a deck that I used to play quite a bit back in the day, but I felt a little rusty today. But I felt like I would be able to perform better on Lux Jace than trying to learn a new unfamiliar deck.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. The play I saw today was very clean. Understanding how to play the Lux curves, how to play the John and Nyla curves, being respectful of cards that you had reasons to play around when your opponent was presenting you information. So it all makes sense. And yeah, it's actually really funny to hear that John and Nyla is very in line with all of your success, because during this cast I was talking about how I remember seeing you pop up a lot more once John and Nyla came out, and I remember you doing really well on that deck, being like one of the decks I would associate you with, and the play today definitely shows why.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
So out of your entire day today, what was the most scariest scariest lineup that you had to go up against?
Scariest lineup. Give me 1 second. I gotta remember. I think Lunaya's lineup was pretty scary because I wasn't. I feel like my lineup's fairly weak into the Fearsomes, like the Mistwraith deck, and Lunaya figured out that it's an Allegiance deck. You can just bring it twice, and so that one was a little rough. I got there in the end, but I had to draw some very lucky cards. Like I'm running one of Deny in my Pantheon deck, and that's what not Deny, the Shuriman Deny.
Yeah. But we understand what you mean.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, hey, you did get lucky, but there's two ways. It takes two things to win a tournament, right? You got to be lucky and you got to be good. And you got lucky today, and clearly you're good. So you get there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That being said, what was your ban strategy, considering you had to play into Fearsomes multiple times today? The Udyr Morganus ban makes a lot of sense. Just curious, playing this lineup, seeming like a very strong lineup. Just curious for if people want to try it in a tournament in the future, what they should be thinking about ban-wise.
Yeah, I didn't have a specific ban strategy going into this one. Usually I try to build my lineup banning a specific deck and targeting one, but I felt like I didn't have enough of a read on the meta to target anything or to just ban anything specifically, so I just brought what I thought were 3 strong decks, and I just banned whatever the most threatening deck that my opponents had were.
Yeah.
So, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it makes a lot of sense. Clearly a strategy that worked very well for you today. It's a very powerful strategy early in a meta. Curious, though, after seeing the meta today, would you have changed any of the decks in your lineup, and what would you be thinking of playing instead?
No, I think I would keep it fairly similar. I might change out this Pantheon deck for something that's a little stronger against aggro, but I think otherwise I would keep it essentially the same.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions for Awesome Card Gamer?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he answered everything I had. He gave us a lot of good information about his lineup, how he was thinking about the tournament, why his lineup's so good. Clearly it won. And it was just great to get to talk to you finally, man. I know you've been in the community for a while and we haven't got to talk, so it's cool to get to talk to people for the first time.
Yeah, it's great. It was good talking to you too. Thanks.
Is there anybody you want to shout out Awesome today?
I can't think of anybody right now. So
any advice you want to give to old or new players coming in, or old players that have been in the community for a while as well?
Any advice? I can't really think of anything. I think practicing with a deck and being comfortable with it is more important than finding like whatever is exactly the best deck in a specific meta. It's always better to play something that you have a lot of reps with and that you're comfortable with than like something that's like theoretically slightly better.
Yeah, that's a great point, right? You gotta play to your tables, not the hypothetical tables, and you did that today, right? And it paid off big time.
Yeah. So with that, Card Gamer, any final remarks before I send us off for tonight?
I got a couple shout outs, man. First of all, shout out Awesome. That guy played great today. He won. Spend your coins, spend your money how you want, King. Shout out Aegis Esports, holding it down in the North American server for Legends of Runeterra stuff. I think someone does stuff on APAC. Shout out Marshall/LoR Report on EU, holding it down EU. And, shout out everyone who still tunes in and plays this game, man. I'm not around as much as I was before, but it's still a great game. So it's great to see people playing it.
Yeah. With that, I'll make my quick announcement and we'll send it off. Don't forget, next week is the second season of the Aegis Franchise League. We have signups still going on for our AAL tournament. And if you do top cut, you are eligible for the next season and for a chance to compete in the ACL with a bunch of people from the big leagues. So I hope to see you all there. You have signups all the way up until Thursday. So get your teams going right now. Get your signups in, and we hope to see you there next week. It's going to be a banger league this season. With that. Oh, I also do want to note that there are more relegation spots which are included in the rulebook. Don't forget to check that out. So there are more chances to get up into ACL this time around than there was last season. So with that, thank you, Card Gamer, for casting with me. Thank you again to Cash, who was here earlier as well. Congratulations once again, Awesome, for winning. Thank you, everybody who participated in this tournament and still continues to support the community. Thank you for competing in all these tournaments. We still love bringing them to you as long as you still come playing in these tournaments. So stay safe, stay blessed, and we will see you all next week.